Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. You see, this is how we respect blacks in Iran. From clergy down to man on the street. And the picture on the other side, I don't understand. I watched it as it was put on the internet. And I watched the two uniforms, one the uniform of guard and one uniform of policeman. And as it's now published, they knew each other very well. This was an old revenge. It wasn't just something there. There was something between these two guys from time in the past. And he could have done it totally different somewhere else, was still done the same to him. But what is important is this picture you see with the religious people kissing the hand of a black. This is how in Iran we have respected the Jews, the Christians, and every color and religion. That's why we became what we call Persian Empire. Because the kings of Iran always brought everyone to be part of. And they taught this to the Romans. Romans used to be wild till they got to know the Iranians, the Persian Empire. And what they did, I don't know if many of you know, if you lived in Italy the way we do, people don't know from outside. Italy is made of some 2,000 tribes and 200 nationalities, which majority of them were brought into Italy during the Roman Empire. And all, if you travel from north of Italy to the south of Italy, to the east, to the west, not many of them look the same. There's big difference between them. You see, they brought from every nationality and they kept them, and they speak all Italian, they all look Italian, but they're not Italian. And we had a historian who told us exactly who lives where and which nationality they are from. And to respect a man, the color, the skin, the robe, nothing should matter. And this is what we're trying to change before we open the space. This, you see that uniform has a very false image. Both of them. When you look at the clergyman kissing the hand of a black guy, is how it's been for us in Iran for centuries. We don't know how racism is something which is financed by ego, is financed by money, is financed by a lot of other things. But if you look behind this picture, what we see in riots and houses burned and the fires which are going on, we don't know how many people have got killed behind this one and how many deaths are there that they are not reporting, not to create more problem. But in a way, are we seeing, or can we bring a change? Are we loving enough? Or are we brave enough to bring that change? in the coming months, in the coming years, how much can we change? I have literally, I literally think, how much more are we going to do wrong to each other? That's the bottom line. And then how much are we going to allow our way of thinking and doing change the others? When you have a black guy in Iran, if they come with you to a restaurant, if you have a black guy coming with you to a party, they're always given the best seat, the highest seat as a guest. And when you have a foreigner, it's the same. But somehow when you cross Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean, there is a zone which everything changes. You see that guy on the floor, handcuffed? I've been near to that by the Canadian police in the airport. They had a discussion every night. Are they going to handcuff me? Are they going to handcuff me? They can be seen an Iranian scientist handcuffed, kidnapped in the airport. And they always told me they're going to do with me what the guy you see, black guy on the floor. Strange enough, I didn't see any black Canadian officers, they're all white. How much can we change? How much can we change? Or can we be strong enough to bring that change? What do we expect and what they are giving? I brought with me a lot of love, a lot of care, a lot of understanding, brought a lot of trying to understand, and in that process, what have we received? In a way, what does it take to change from the religious man kissing a black off the hand of the man, from that white man to this position? These pictures you see are circulating around Middle East like bonfire at the moment. In Asia, in Africa. And this picture on the left will come very, very soon. If they don't control it, embassies, American embassies around Africa will start burning down. A lot of Africans are waiting for this to change it. And at the end of it, how can we stop it? What is in our hand? What do we carry? Which part of our thoughts, which part of our education has gone wrong. Children are colorblind, as one of our talkers says, till they are 5 or 6. Unless they're told this is black, this is white, they don't know the difference. We make them aware of the differences. We make them aware of prejudice and the rest. Be it religious, be it whatever we might call it. And I have been on the end of every shape or form of it. Religious persecution, being on the end of color prejudice in England. We've seen it. I've seen how blacks have been beaten up in front of me. And when you go to help them, says, no, you're not black, leave me alone. 1976, I went to watch a football match, Manchester City playing in their home ground. It was me and a Pakistani chap, very dark skin. There were only about 4 or 5 foreigners in the whole of the, football ground. And we were standing next to each other because we were college mates. He said, let's go to a football match. I noticed many, many coins but hit at him. Not at me, I didn't receive one. But he got hit and booed at just because he had a different color of skin, white. If you'd have gone to football matches till mid-80s, 90s, 80s mainly, every time a black football player received the ball, all the stadium just go, hoo, 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 like a gorilla. And it was live on television, you could hear it. What happened? This has been going through my head a lot in recent few days, past few weeks. What happened if corona mutates in one shape or another to only take the white skin or the black skin or only yellow, the way we saw? It was orientated to get Japan, China. And what's going to happen with us as so many ways? You might see a very unusual step, radical step in next. I've been told wait 5 days as of today. Maybe by Friday, you might see a radical move from the Keshe Foundation in regarding the corona. And I always thought this will come, and today maybe it has come. And the truth is, what are we going to accept? I don't see why a few thousand they are dying with corona, where the Iranian government is sitting on the solution for a month and a half. I don't see a solution, a reason why the Iranian hierarchy leadership is not letting the technology as they have received and they can save their own people and are doing, not allowed to come out. And to what extent we try to be part of this process of watching other people dying. One is not much different. We have been writing about one black guy dying, and we say nothing to Mr. Gates, who's killing millions of us. We riot for one black man who is getting killed or is killed, but we see another black man killing millions as head of WHO. Each one abuses the power depending on the chair and the uniform. And this is what I said. With the birth of new child, new cycle, this all will be in the past. In so many ways, a new cycle, a new breed of life will start. And if we create a energy above it, that the strength doesn't show, doesn't exist, dilutes in it. And this is what the new cycle is. This is where the new life has to start. And as I always say, mankind always looks at his own pocket. But this cycle will change the whole of the universe, the whole eternal life. And you remember that orange in the cup? The new cycle from Earth is that orange, and the universe the cup. And the essence will change. And as I said, the script is written, and more or less all of us in the physical dimension are just actors playing the part of the script written. Every position, every place, every person is just getting to the point we are all getting till what we call the show starts. And what we see, what will change will be drastic. And you need a new cycle. Otherwise, this is too horrible to trying to change everything by one mind, not only on this planet, as I said, we have problems outside here too. Mankind, souls with some misconduct have reached other part of the universe. And when we make a child from mankind, that kind of child will change the totality of everything else. The child of love, care, understanding, and compassion, and the rest of it. And it needs all of us to be there to make sure it takes place. And we try to explain in a very, very deep way for a lot of people to understand. It's not just man who's got to stop killing, is man stop thinking of ego. Killing is nothing. Consuming other things. We can feed you the energy of the universe, and that if that ego carries on, can you imagine now you can tap into energy much bigger than what you take from food? What mayhem you're gonna create? Kings have a bigger head than 20 kings. That structure is what we're trying to change. And it has to come from a new beginning. In many holy books, you talk about the end of the world and whatever. It's not the end of the world. It's very much like a man dies and the soul starts a new cycle. And it's the end of the old way and the beginning of new. The most strangest thing is we consider no life to worth more than ours, where we have to respect life. That we give our life for life to stay alive. And this is the part which mankind does not understand unless you are a father or a mother and you try to give to save your child. Very, very few like what you see there. They watch a man being killed, they won't do a thing. This picture really affects not man's emotion, but you question the integrity of why am I here to change so much? What you got to remember, when I see these kissing hands and washing foots and all that, and we've seen so many priests doing the same, washing a child's foot in the front and raping and abusing the same child in the back of the altar. These are the things which really, really has to change. And we have a very, very short time to bring that change. And it's not going to come with a gun. It's not going to come by kissing a hand. It has to come with change and elevation of the soul of man or the creation on this planet, either way you want to. If we understand why, and if we always say, you know, that man is a father of a child and could be the son of another. And all three have the right to live a peaceful life. But how can we change it now with what we know? It will come through most probably, literally bringing a new cycle. I don't see it any other way. And so many ways can we reach the emotion and the soul of the physicality that these things don't happen. How can we change it? It is in our hand. And it's, as I said, the process has started. We have to create that soul that through it, like the orange, will change, elevate the rest of the souls. And at the same time, bring new knowledge, new understanding. Do we change? As I said, birds don't carry any passport on their tails when they cross countries and continents. Animals don't do when they cross borders. Why mankind has done this to himself? We haven't become wiser. We have become more abusers than wisers. We've seen these riots how many times in the past 20, 30 years. We saw it with Martin Luther King in different ways. We saw with another policeman killing a black man. A few years ago, we've seen this, we've seen the others. In Africa, the black kill black, worse than the white man kills the black. Have you heard a man being killed? And you cannot do a thing. You hear the voice and you know they're killing a man till the voice goes silent. Do we see the same atrocity 10, 15 years ago? You remember in Afghanistan, they called them whatever. They used to put a woman in a ditch with her head up and they stoned her till she died. Now we're seeing the same thing in North Korea a few weeks ago, when the president, by one officer defying staying home with Corona, he just went to his house and shot him in front of everybody in the head. It doesn't matter where you go, man just sees solution in killing. Doesn't matter what uniform or how you put on it. Don't we see every day Palestinians being shot by the Israelis left, right, and center, and the Americans killing in Syria and Iraq and everywhere? We start with throwing stones to kill, and now we are good at with the rockets and missiles and nuclear weapons. we try to show we are in position of power. Doesn't matter how we put, what we put, and what place we put it. If you can show the position of servitude where you can give, you can elevate by giving. When you put yourself in a position of power to take, is where you fail. Because by giving, by loving, by adoring, by whatever, you elevate the soul of the one who will become as the level of you. And in that process, you receive from what you need to become to the level of them. If they have any higher than yours, which most of the time is, could be. But if you think of it, what does it mean when we say, and I've gone through this very few times recently, because it has to be understood. When you tell somebody I love you, when you say somebody I adore you, when you say somebody I give my life to you, for you, what does it mean? It means I'm aware of my position, but I'm prepared to bring you to my level, that we both find peace. In a way, when we love someone, because we think we have all of it, we can give so much, what does so much does? It brings two to be equal, because once gets to the point that love is there, you have reached maturity, you may reach the point of understanding equalness. There is no more to give, there is no more to take. It's peace. Because in the time you give, there is a turmoil, there is a motion, there is a movement. And when you give, is in so many ways means there is a receiver for it. And as we give more, we receive of a higher order, because as I taught this week, you strip off weaker side, you're left with a very bigger pull, the stronger pull. One thing which is very interesting, I was explaining recently, don't you think God has the power within it, the creator, whatever you call it, to change everything in one flick of a finger? But the mankind will go back again. And it's the same, the whole of the planet, the whole of the universe will go the same. I have a picture given to me by Ambassador to Vatican. Close friend, very dear friend. He used to be a permanent advisor to the Pope for quite some time. A black man. I have spent many times, many nights discussing with him till early in the morning. And we usually end up with one thing. He says to me, Mehran, why do you spend so much time in Africa between the blacks? I used to tell him, because Africa needs me to raise the soul of Africa. That Africa is proud to be black and proud to be what it is as a human. It's very easy to teach Africans equality and humbleness. And I remember we were sitting in the kitchen, and secretary minister turned up, and we were sitting, three of us. And he was telling us that I used to watch world leaders coming and crawling as they come to the Vatican to see the Pope, literally on their hands and knees like dog. And they come to kiss the hand of the Pope. By the time they get to Pope can ask them to die, they die. And he says, he used to tell me, amazing enough, the Pope never kissed them back. He never touches them back. It's just them to give. And I have a picture somewhere given to me. And this picture, you see the Islamic religious people. They kiss the hand of the comer, doesn't matter what color. And this is very, very unusual. When you kiss, you give, you elevate. And kissing for mankind has a lot of meaning. People don't know. When you kiss your child, when you kiss your partner, when you kiss your lover, when you kiss your wife, it has a lot of meaning. And the way you kiss. Kiss is part of the physical love, which mankind is more or less the only race which possesses. It's the only way which we transfer from what we call the soul of the physicality to the soul of the man. If you look the position of the face of the man and the soul of the man, and where we usually kiss, you'll find out kissing has a lot to do with transfer of what we call emotion and soul. And if you look, the most people who kiss the hand, why do we kiss a hand? If you follow that hand, is the shape of it as you see with the 5 fingers, goes on both sides of the head of the man. It's by your ears. And more or less, when you hold in the shape of it, holds the soul in between. If you become master of understanding the motion of the fields, the motion of the soul, the dynamism of the fields, and you can bring your 2 hands even in conjunction with each other to be in line with your soul, you can do a lot of things. With the hand of the man, you can transfer the energy of the soul, both physicality and receiving from the soul of the man. And in certain positions, you transfer a lot in understanding. It is so many ways mankind has to understand his physicality as set up for elevation of what we call his emotion, and to pass that animalness behavior, killing behavior, and mankind has chosen not to, purely has chosen not to. One day I want to teach how I can build your body without any of your physical part, just with your head. And I said, one day I will do that. I'll get a skull and make the man out of it. Somebody's microphone is open. One day I will tell you about these four men in a cloth of clergy. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. A lot of souls processing.
And a lot of maturing.
Yes, sir.
A lot of maturing.
Keshe, Mark from Cape Town. Can you explain a bit more about the Iran situation with the hierarchy? Why aren't they letting people know about this Keshe Foundation and everything else?
At this moment, we stay very quiet about this, extremely quiet. We try to be very, very quiet about this at the moment. Because there is a reason for it, soon you will understand. Any other question?
Mr. Keshe?
Yes.
Hi, this is Stephen from California. I wonder if you could expand a little bit more on when you mentioned that the souls, the loving souls will create the souls of physicality where the universal souls couldn't, or maybe I misunderstood that. You were trying to, I think, give us some information regarding how the virus at some point can't breed with the human, but to create its own physicality, or that the universal community can't combine to produce the souls of physicality. I guess I was confused on that when you mentioned it a month or so back.
What you mean? I don't understand.
Um, You were talking about how when two souls come together, another soul could be created out of the love, and it can manifest as a human being. But that I think you said that in the universal community, they can't achieve that same process.
The process of life is very different in the universe than the man. It's completely opposite to the structure we choose or mankind has chosen. I was explaining this very recently. On the planet Earth, you work, you kill yourself to live. At the end of it, to create a child, maybe that you have. In the universal community, we work together to create a perfect soul. That when we make life with our lifetime partner, the best child from accumulation of the two can be created. Nowadays, you run like a donkey to make facility that the child you created will live. In the universal community, we gather souls, we gather energies that create the soul that we bring on the table of partnership. And this is a very big difference. Man here lives, works, dies to live for another day. In the universe, we live for that day where we can create an offspring. We collect from the best of possibilities. We don't work. The whole energy of the creation goes in giving to have the best, in a way, if you understand it, that best become what it puts into the essence of what to become part of you, in essence of the new birth of a child, or what we call a soul child. And that brings perfection. Mankind creates the child and does everything possible, rob, cheat, do, steal, whatever, to feed that child. So, in so many ways, in the universal dimension, physicality is one of the hardest things, because you know, in a physical dimension, you become and you have to perform and be dependent on something that in the presence of you can manifest yourself. Where with the mankind, you're already made in physical. All you have to do your best to survive to what purpose, to the end, whatever, till the separation comes. And if you can merge both the beauty of the physicality and the beauty of the essence of the life in the soul dimension, then you will produce a perfection. Never been done. Never been done. And if we achieve it, the whole process will change. The whole universe will become a peaceful place. The whole structure of life across the planet changes. I was explaining, and I've explained 3-4 times in a very recent past. For the first time, we change the singularity of the creator to jewel. And the reason for it is very clear. It brings balance. You see, if the creator would have had a jewel, it would have been given enough and received enough. In singularity, mistakes like earth happens. Because he gives so much and he waits that somebody will pray and give back to him. Now with creative jewel, double, or partner, or twin soul, whatever you call it, the balance comes back where a given is taken and whatever is in that environment receives and takes. So everything becomes elevated to the soul of balance of the creator. I explain it in a very simple way. If you play football and it's only you who kicks the ball, you have to do a lot of running collecting the ball, and ball can go anywhere. But you have somebody opposite to you that he can kick the ball back. There is a pleasure you can get and receive, and on an equal measure. And the better player you have in front of you, the better player you become. And this is one of the biggest change, and very soon will bring head on with the Keshe Foundation and a lot of religious groups. Because they talk about God and only and singularity, where singularity has led to the mistake like this planet Earth. Because the Creator gives unconditionally, and man has given to God on conditions which suits him and stolen the rest. When you create a jewel, what we call twin, as the two unconditionally give and take and elevate, whatever is in between will be the same. So there is no way the mistakes of the past can be made like Earth. There's a lot of things very much parallel with each other are happening. Elevating the soul of the planet, elevating the soul of the man, and the rest of the whatever creation beyond man cannot even see and know about, all moves to this position of jewel perfection. And that perfection will create a perfect, what we call, position that can change the whole of the creation. I have mentioned it in some teaching some years ago, but now maybe I can explain it. When we speak about the rise of 3 suns, what does that mean? If you go back in some of the teachings, I have referred to this, that there'll be 3 suns, shining suns, stars, where one is the creator and the one is what you call the twin, and the third one is what we call the soul of the child, which is in between and shines. And that will bring a new dimension. It's literally putting 2 laser beams into a ball and see what comes out of it. Double and triple and more.
And this process needs to take place. And mankind see it. If you see it, your blood is one side, which brings in what we call the soul of physicality. Your soul is on the other side, and the two, if they're in perfection, or they have a conflict in between, that child becomes the emotion. There is no difference in the world of creation, no difference. But man has to understand the strength, the position, and the totality of it. And this is where the change comes. It might not be completely on your time schedule of presence on this planet, but as the process has started and it will be completed, this process will go through the twinity, the twin, and the child of what is comes from the interaction of the two in the center will become that star, that everything else will shine. In a way, the child is a reflection of the love of the two, and they'll shine, and they'll bring that change. And they'll be seen right across the universe. Every universe will be lit at the same time. But that light is like a heartbeat in the life of the man. Will bring everything synchronized, everything in one process, equal and peaceful.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. The reason I asked the question is because I have created the womb of the mother, a replica of the womb of the mother, where I've been able to create, to manifest entities within this womb. And I'm trying to understand how these souls were created. If I'm just myself, what other interaction did I establish to allow these entities to manifest within this condition, so that they have a soul and they have an emotion to confirm their physicality? And how do I better understand my ability to create and build my confidence to create more?
But what have you created?
Living entities. I've shown it in the plasma reactor group, these black entities that they look like little sea urchins, and they live in this liquid medium, and they continue to grow. They don't have a skeletal structure, they don't have blood, they're just they're almost, we've kind of said maybe they're bacteria or some kind of organism or something, but they've continued to live and thrive and grow for years now. And they don't consume, except for they attach themselves to the GANs and use it as the path to get all their info. They're all that they need.
When you feed them cancers.
Well, it's when I made a GANs of carbon, I call it. I made a GANs of a carbon, and I put the GANs in a container and I set it away for some 3 or 4 years, only to come back to find entities had manifested within this structure.
This is normal. But you know, if you create a condition which has a physicality condition around it, you create life, new life. This is what I said in past 2-3 weeks. The creation of life has not stopped just because man thinks it. And as I said, even in Amazon, there are new lives every day coming up. So you have, when you create a condition in a space which you control or you have developed that allows a new geological position to be created, that fields can come and nourish, yes, of course. I have a bucket with me for 10, 12 years. This is, you have done what people with, especially now who understand more and more of cancers, can do. And in so many ways, we so much can create as many new lives as we like. Now we have the capability to create the condition of life. And this is very easy nowadays. And the more knowledgeable you become, the more you can create. And if you free them in the seas, in the oceans, in the waters, in the air, they'll come up, they'll live, they'll have a new, they'll come and say, we found new animals we didn't know. You see, when you create gases and with it, you have a salt environment. Life is inevitable. Absolutely inevitable. So you have created an environment. In that environment, because of the field strength and dynamic fields, what you have created is alive. If you would have had calcium in there, most probably would have had a skeleton. And if you had magnesium in there, most probably that life you created would have had vegetation life.
I just don't know what to do with them now. How I want to continue to support them, but I want to set them free, or should I?
I don't know. Would you release a new virus? Or would you release a new being that when it comes in touch with the other matters of the wherever you release it to, most probably if you release it, got to release it in the water environment because it's a living, water living, and then you might find structure and they find a new animal.
they did take on the shape of the imagery of a virus, where it looks like a sea urchin, where it's black and it has spikes coming from it. It's really interesting looking.
Hmm.
I'm hoping it's not a
It's,
virus.
oh, it's just that they got, if you give it condition of physicality, got the strength of it, put into it, the strength. A lot of knowledge seekers, if they have the patience, will reach these things. We go and buy a pet. Now you have a knowledge to create your own pet.
It's like as kids, we always tried to get those sea monkeys they used to sell in the back of the the kids' books. They'd say, "Oh, raise sea monkeys," but they were something else. They weren't monkeys, but they were something you could add something to the water and have life form within it in a similar way.
If you live on the Silk Road the way we do, about this time of the year, just about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, we buy these black seeds. Oh, it's a gold dust if we can get it. And when we were children, we had to have it. We used to look for it anywhere. Who had some of these black seeds? And you put these black seeds, they're tiny little black spots, tiny little black spots. You put them on the leaf of a white berry, and you put them in a shoebox, because that was the best place to keep them in shoebox, because you could open it and close it. And then you watch, and you see after a few days, the silkworm comes out of that tiny black seeds, just tiny thing. And then you watch it, and every day you change its place, you bring new leaves, and you watch it making its cocoon, and then you wait to see what butterfly you get. And then you hold that butterfly, you hope it's a female butterfly. And if you made 4 or 5 or 10 of these seeds, you were lucky you could get your hand on and could feed them. Then you get the black seed again. But we never knew where we put it for the next year. And we create that condition of life. The hardest part of that process, which touches you, is when the butterfly dies. And in that childhood, you are not taught that the life of that butterfly is in that black seed. And it's a very strange experience when you eat that cocoon, that what you call the silkworm. Is a delicacy in north of China. Silkworm stir fried. It tastes very nice, actually. But now we have that opportunity not to wait for the seed, but we have the knowledge, the way we can create gold or whatever. We have the opportunity to create life. Now you have become God.
Thank you for sharing that with me.
Well, anything else?
Mr. Keshe, this is Ed from Indiana. Could I ask you a question about something you shared maybe last week, I think? You had talked about what was required for those of the universal community to come to Earth, and you were drawing it, and the energetic transfer that was required for somebody in the universal community to come to Earth, and how there was a quarantine on Earth. And I don't know, somehow my mind went to the fact that is part of the reason for the, I mean, I know you've taught us the quarantine is because what we do is unacceptable, but is part of the reason also because the process required for coming to this planet and manifesting here requires a transfer of parts of the soul that this earth is just not ready for or is not privileged for?
What do you mean?
Well, it looked to me like what you were explaining and drawing involved a transfer of the soul of the universal entity with the soul of this earth in order to be able to manifest here. And I just wondered if part of the reason for the quarantine was because there's some things that that universal entity might know or have a part of their soul that this earth is just not ready for, or if it came here, it would not be used properly.
What? Try to explain.
Okay. Well, I'm not even sure if I'm correct, but and I don't. It was recently that you shared the process of an entity needing to come to this planet that was not part of this planet, and that there was an energetic transfer. I mean, you know, you were drawing infinity loop between, and I just got the idea in my head that there was some type of a full sharing that had to take place.
It has to. If you're going to bring a balance, it has to be. Sometimes, as I said, when I teach, is not for mankind. Maybe in time to come, when man matures, then they say this is what he was talking about. As I said, when we teach, it's like when you are in a religious school and there's only one teacher, and from nursery, class 1 till just before diploma, and you have to teach all. But when you teach, you can't tell the child in a class 1 level to close your ears. You shouldn't hear what I'm teaching to the class 12 in a way, if you look at it. And when you teach one in class 1, the guy in class 12 laughs. He says, well, what are the little things you're teaching him? In so many ways, when our teachers in the same way, and mankind is literally in the nursery. And we have those who are in class 12. And the way we teach is to both understand or come to understand, to mature. But in a way, because we teach the soul of the entity, we reach the souls. Those souls need to go to education. They learn, they elevate by understanding, by accumulating. So we reach all the souls to the same level. There's a big evolution in the whole process which is taking place and is happening. And we consider the elevation of the soul as the only way for equality in the universal community. If you live in the dimension of the soul, you have gone advanced enough to be, you know, how to transfer yourself to the dimension of physicality, because in so many ways you came out of this interaction somewhere, in so many ways, in some cases. And if you are in a physical dimension, then you need to learn about the soul, that you become that soul without the physicality. But as all need to be taught, this time we don't teach you to become something which was. You become something which is at this moment in time. As I said, try to understand the transfer of the fields, then transfer of emotion. Mankind does transfer through emotion and not through the fields of the soul. If you can make the strength of the emotion of the soul of the man, then you have succeeded to become and reach that point that you can reach and see your own soul. Any other question?
Thank you very much for coming today, Mr. Keshe.
As I said, I try to be everywhere because we are pushing for the what I call the final frontier. And that final frontier, it's very, very close. Very, very close. Extremely close. The final frontier for man to put guns down and move towards what we call universal peace is very, very near. 10th lesson is near. And we have everything to achieve it, especially in the past few weeks. We have reached that position that we can achieve it very, very quickly. All it depends on a few dotting the I's and crossing the T's. It's the leadership which brings the change. And that's that clear to the Iranian officials in past 48 hours. I was requested to return to Iran and take the position of leadership to start a new government, because we are that powerful, you know. And in a way to start a revolution. And I said, no. I said, my position as a scientist, and it stays in that position. And I stay loyal to the leadership and to the government. Because I know if I accept such a position head-to-head Iranian nation, with it brings a lot of bloodshed. And that's not my position. Where through my knowledge, I can achieve more and not to bring whatever to one nation, but we bring peace to the whole of this planet and beyond. I had a long discussion with those who see me here, see the Keshe Foundation in a way, and me as the head of it, as a leading Iranian physicist and scientist, and recognized internationally to be as a point where by returning to Iran, I can take a leadership in politics. And I said, no, there's no way I won't even contemplate on it, let alone, what do you call it, entertain it and see. And we are not looking for leadership and mayhem. We are looking for leadership to unite. In the coming days, we might take that step. We started this afternoon. I hope we'll see that to create peace needs a solid and a stable understanding of the whole, what we call geopolitics of this planet and outside this planet. And with the knowledge we have, when the influence this technology can have, if it's done the right way, you can take leadership through science, and through that science, through the heart of the man, and leave the politicians, which soon there'll be none. When you have one planet and you all work in one direction, you have no politician, you have no diplomats. As you don't need a diplomat to negotiate with them in their country, the only diplomat left is the Universal House Council members and the Earth Council members to negotiate with those from outside, because this side is one. But if they are elevated enough to understand, the other side is the one as well. So it brings uniformity. It is very, very tantalizing. It's very, very interesting to see how, as I have sat here for the past few months, others see you to go back to a nation, to lead a nation. And if you're weak, you accept. If you're strong and you know what is your mission, is exactly what I don't want to have. And many, many times is a test for us to understand if we have become attached to physicality, position, title, and place. I prefer to be in a different position to be able to create than to be in a position to create mayhem. And one of the biggest fears of Iranian leadership is, if I return to Iran, would it be a new revolution in science, and would it on the religious side? And We have the same around the world. Listen, handful of weeks ago, maybe a little bit more or less, one of the, what we call reliable people, which we're trying to negotiate, says, "Mehran, volunteers have fear of you." I said, "I've done nothing, I'm a normal scientist." They said they're afraid of the power you have created in teaching knowledge and in enlightening the soul of people, for people to become, to understand, to live a correct life. I have achieved everything I came here to achieve. A few little bits and a big party, and that's it. And then the change will come on its own, automatic. How, I said to them, how can I seek a seat to become a leader when I'm out there to destroy the leadership and the kingship? Doesn't work. Any other question?
Lucas has his hand up. Lucas, can you open your mic?
Hello, everyone. Good night to everyone. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. I do have a question regarding to the last teaching in the matter when you said that we have a weakness, weak planet, that our planet have a weakness, and in such a matter that have an interaction with our soul, and you have to do also with that a wonderful question that you interacted so well with one link, sorry. And I do want, if you can give us some 5 minutes, another a fast explanation about how we can annulate this interaction of our planet in the universal enhancement unit. Because in my opinion, we can annulate this with popping up these units all over the world. Sorry.
What do you mean exactly?
The interaction that we have, because the weakness of our planet in regard to our soul's interaction, and some way with the memory to the creator, that in somehow we can reach that data bank, data center.
How I could answer you this? The enhancement unit is in so many ways another tool that man looks to find a way, a shortcut. The enhancement unit is it's in a way of living, it's a way of life. You cannot use the enhancement unit as a shortcut.
Could we say that would be like passing through a new birth?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, little by little, we can achieve that first initial conditions that we came through this planet.
Why do you want to do this? What's the
I
purpose
I
of
don't
it?
know if I understood well, because it's not that how the units work somehow.
I don't understand. If I don't understand, I cannot answer you.
Okay, sorry for that.
No, try to explain.
The conditions that we were created, can we achieve that perfection state somehow using that unit
But
little by
go
little? I
back,
don't know the
go
word of
back
it.
to the
Sorry.
time of birth.
No.
Uh-huh.
Just to achieve that again
What to achieve?
in
What
this
exactly?
in the like a new birth in this physicality, no matter what
Ah,
person that use it. And little by little, people will reaching that link that we miss along this interaction fields with our weak planet, with our souls, and maybe we can reach that link that we miss, that makes all the sense for us to elevate in a maximum speed way.
I'm trying to find a way to explain it that is simple. If mankind needs a machine to achieve what we call innocence or elevation of what I call no guilt, because we believe at a point of birth we were innocent, we did not commit any crime, and we would like to go to back to that position. What happens to all the elevations of the physicality and the soul which you achieved in that space? Or you think you've done so much wrong that there was a higher position?
No, it wasn't in that matter. It
Yeah.
was a good point, because no, it is part of our elevation. All the bad things we done, all the bad things that we saw people done with us and with the world, and try to somehow elevate with all that. And it was not in that point, just in the point of, how can I say, body enhancement, and in the, like a byproduct, we elevate ourselves little by little, and that simple as that, in my way of thinking, how this space enhancement will work in the body, and a little bit little by little, or just in once, and in the elevation of people, like the moment of inception, like you was commented some way ago.
You see, we have a wrong perception of innocence, and we think, I explain to you in a different way. We say we have a star which is 1 light year across, we have a star which is 1,000 light year across, and we have a star which is 10,000 light year across for the diameter. And we know by proportion, and depending on the environment you're in, gives you the size you are, not necessarily by proportion. But which star would you like to be?
I would like to be a magnet.
What is a magnet?
It's like a shiny star, a very, very powerful magnetical shiny star that how can we say it shines for the inner.
They're all shining. Nobody said that the star doesn't shine. They all shine. But when you're a bigger star, do you shine more and you cover more? Or is there any difference between your shine at one light years or the one that's 1,000 light years away, or size? If I can explain it to you in a very simple way, it's the essence of the soul which counts, not the time and the position and the size. What that sun can create, someone's microphone open. What that sun can create, and what we said, the essence is, hello, someone's microphone is open. And that essence is what we call Mitra, was the creator. If you look, the sun shines, and what that shine is what it gives from inside. It's what it creates, that with interaction with the rest of the fields of itself, which it comes from its surface as a mother will lead to creation of plants, all the planets or whatever. If you are in true essence strong, powerful inside, what you create through your essence of creation will be all at a perfect as you, because you carry that the strong essence, the strong fields inside you. If you look at it that way, if you have a strong gravitational magnetic field, you can pull yourself with what your essence, what your creation creates, will come back to you. Then how strong do you want that center to be, that essence to be, that creation to be? Not to be innocent, go back at the point of is to become stronger, then you can create a better and more perfect. You got to understand something very interesting, and this is running a lot of theologists the past few weeks, right up what we call it the backside, the wrong way, is that now this understanding of duality of the creator, it's a very, very, very big pill to swallow, because it's very simple. I said to a theologist and to a man of God, very simple. And this is answer to a lot of you, which never been put. If God is the creator, if God is the lover and giver, so the God must be a woman. Man cannot create, man cannot give birth to new life. Now you understand why we call it the virgin birth, why we call it. So now, if God is a giver and he gives, who creates? If is the creator, it has to have an essence and itself. This is going to create, and it's created a lot of problem for theologists and the religious groups. In the past few weeks, when you listen to them, there are a lot of them sit around teaching of Keshe, and they should. If it's giver, why does he ask that I made you to picture and that I pray or give, love me? Visions give back to me. And don't forget, Earth is a tiny little dust and dust of a little dust of a dust of a little dust in the whole structure of the universe. Is the creator such a beggar, such a needer that he needs a man which is a criminal and everything wrong with it to pray to him that he feels good? It doesn't add up. Unless we say we have one God and that God is creator of the earth and that's it. Earth is the center of the universe. Nothing else exists. So why don't we call him the sun? Even the sun, the reality of the sun is what he holds on to and what he gives out. That giving is a field. And the making of the solar system comes from what is on the surface of it. There was no gravitational magnetic fields which flow out of it to control. Those fields which come as a ray and lead to the creation of all the solar system and the rest. So there is a creator and there is what we call essence of it, which is the creation, what actually gives birth life. with science, you cannot be very far from theology. With theology, you cannot play with singularity. Does not hold, not anymore. Any other question?
Well, we have some hands raised here, Mr. Keshe. I just want to make sure that you're feeling up to fielding them. Let's see, we've got 3 hands waiting on you. We're at, gosh, 4 hours and 20 minutes thereabouts so far. Are you filling up to taking these questions now?
Yep, no problem.
Okay, very good. Beatrice, can you open your mic, Beatrice? Ask your question, please. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Beatrice, I see your hands up.
Maybe she's gone to sleep.
We'll give you a moment. We'll move on to Janilo. I see your hands up.
Aquí estoy. ¿Me escuchan?
Oh, who is that? Is that Beatrice?
Yes, of course.
Okay, can you turn your speakers off in the background and turn your mic up so we can hear you better?
Okay, I need some help in translation. I am from Mexico.
John Wells, are you with us?
Oyenear,
Yes, here I am.
Okay, can you please translate for Beatrice?
Fine.
Thank you very much.
okay, ¿me escuchan bien, John?
Sí, perfectamente. ¿Sí?
Ok, bueno, antes que nada quiero darles las gracias pues, por todo el conocimiento. Voy a hablar despacio, John, porque sé que tienes que traducir.
Sí.
Por todo el
First of all, I
conocimiento.
want to thank you all for all this knowledge. Sí, adelante.
Apenas tengo 2 meses con este conocimiento.
I've only been at this the last 2 months.
Yo tengo una pregunta, lo mandé en el chat igual, estaba mandando en el chat. Una pregunta para Mr. Keshe, referente al lo que él ha hablado del alma.
I've got one question for Mr. Keshe regarding the soul. Sí, adelante. ¿Qué tipo de alma? What type of soul?
El jueves hablaba yo pregunté por las almas gemelas y él comentaba que Camil y Ela son almas gemelas. Pero yo quisiera saber si somos
sí,
nuevos
déjame.
en esta vida, no todos tenemos un alma gemela o solamente ellas dos tienen un alma gemela. Es la pregunta que a mí me resumba en la cabeza.
Last Thursday, I asked you about twin souls, and you said Ella and the other lady are twin souls. Do we all have twin souls?
We all, the whole essence of the creation is based on twin souls.
Toda la esencia de la creación está basada en alma gemela.
If you look in the skies, somebody's microphone is open. If you look into skies, I hear myself.
Yes.
You always see stars in twins. Always. If you look into depths of the skies, you know the big bear and the small bear? We look into the sky, we see them. If you look at them, they're all made of set of twin stars. But in a way, you position what they say the big bear and the small. If you look in the whole structure of the creation, always been has two, that it brings balance, that it brings existence. You have the soul of the man and you have the soul of physicality. You have an electron, you have a proton. The only thing which has been singular up to now has been the creator.
May I translate, please?
Yeah.
En todos los niveles del universo tenés gemelos, almas gemelas, como las estrellas, las personas, todas las almas tienen gemelas. Como en las tres estrellas tenés la osa mayor y la osa menor, son gemelas. Y en todos los niveles y en todas las distintas posiciones las tienes. El único singular es el creador.
And this cannot be, or has to be, or needs to be corrected, and is getting corrected. The soul of twin or twin soul is what it means. It brings balance. When you have a twin soul, if it is in the right way, one soul does not need to steal from the other soul or from the other, from its environment, from other souls. And if you find a balanced twin soul, it brings you the totality of not just you and your twin, but in all dimensions with all the other souls, which they themselves are in twin condition. We, in the universal community, souls are created, as I said, totally different way, totally different way. Where on this planet is upside down.
El problema que tenemos acá en el planeta es justamente esto. Las almas gemelas se generan en una manera totalmente distinta a lo del resto del universo, y esto es lo que hay que corregir. En todos los niveles tienes almas gemelas y cada una sustenta a la otra o le provee a la otra y se mantiene un balance. Acá tenemos un grave problema donde no se produce ese equilibrio.
In a physical life, we put two physicalities or two dimension of physical dimension, physicality together. We make a soul, and through that, then we make one physical life.
Aquí en la Tierra, cuando engendramos una vida, se unen dos almas y generan la tercera, que sería el hijo.
Where in the dimension of the soul, we make a soul, and through that, then we make one physical soul.
Aquí en la Tierra, cuando engendramos una vida, se unen dos almas y generan la tercera, que sería el hijo.
as the twin souls are equal, they both put equal in as the energy, as a soul, are their part of what they've collected to create one perfect soul.
Ambas.
And can you
Go ahead. Yes. To
finish?
Fine. Aquí el padre y madre tienen que tener las dos almas un equilibrio para generar esta nueva alma. Pero hay una diferencia que hay que corregir acá, y ese es el grave problema que tenemos sobre la Tierra.
Trying to explain, but not trying to hold back, because mankind is not ready for this knowledge about the true reasons for doing and how the structure of the twin souls are set. When we talk about Ella and Lynn, that those two souls are gifted with a very, very special soul, a special condition. And is not that is something decided now, is something decided over thousands of years, millions of years before. And this is the course of the history of universe, not just happening on this earth. The position is earth chosen is a special reason for it. And in a very near future, we'll explain, very near future. The reason for all that will be clear to mankind. Mankind is not ready. The position for it is not ready. Why and how these two souls have been chosen and been gifted with this beautiful soul.
Tú has mencionado las dos almas de las señoras que manejan la fundación y los estudios en China. Son dos almas que han sido elegidas hace muchísimo tiempo, miles de años atrás. Y el otro problema es que nosotros debemos equilibrar esta entrega de campos entre las armas gemelas. Todavía no lo comprendemos. En el próximo futuro, muy próximo futuro, esto se nos dará este conocimiento.
As we get closer to the point in the time, I'll try to explain, and you will see the reasons and the signs and all the knowledge for it.
Muy próximamente les daré todas las ideas y conocimientos para que puedan comprenderlo.
Yo, una pregunta, es como si fuese la copa del hombre, una alma, otra alma, crean otra alma, es mi pregunta en específico. Y otra es, si somos almas nuevas en esta vida, ¿por qué algunas personas tienen recuerdos o cosas de gente que cree que haber conocido antes? ¿Y por qué tenemos como que ciertas afinidades con algunas que aparentemente son como conocidas en otra vida? No sé si realmente, Mr. Keshe, sepas si hemos vivido otra vida, en otra vida, si solamente fuimos en la tierra. La duda que yo tengo es porque hay gente que nace en la búsqueda de un conocimiento, de un llamado del alma. Y no, los registros akáshicos realmente no sé si existen o si están, pero sé que el alma guarda un registro, porque como el alma no muere, el alma está ahí, siempre ha estado. Somos un alma con diferente traje espacial, diferente cuerpo. Entonces, si mi alma ha existido, solamente he vivido en la Tierra. No he podido vivir en otro planeta, no lo sé. Yo a veces miro a ver al cielo y digo, pues quiero regresar a casa porque siento que esta no es mi casa, sino es otro lado, allá arriba. Es la pregunta que a mí me resumba, igual que quería preguntarle a Mr. Keshe. Te lo agradezco mucho, John. Gracias.
Her big doubt is our soul, was it born hundreds of years ago, or was it?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, fine. I'd like to know why there are some people that remember past lives. Do our souls have past lives? Have they lived elsewhere, or they only belong to Earth? What are these remembrances apparently registered in the what we call Akashic records?
If you understand the process of the creation, where your physical condition, and I explained this many times, I explain it again. If your physical condition brings the signs of war, resemblance, or part of your parents and your grandparents and great-grandparents, do you think only physical information of the physicality is transferred, or through the soul of the physicality, their soul has been transferred to? And don't forget, the soul of physicality came from the creation of the soul itself.
Could I ask on this? The soul, are we born together with the origin of universe, or is our soul starts with our parents?
It's a combination of a totality. It's the soul of our parents is not just theirs, it's the total memory of the information of the whole race of the man from the day when the first man was created. And in a way, it's a simple way. I explained this before in a very, very easy way.
Could I put it as the Fibonacci numbers?
No.
Fibonacci numbers of just that?
No, these are all rubbish talk. Forget about those. These are all mathematical features which is put together to make something. If you are if you are a fetus in the womb of the mother, are you alone in there and you get nothing from the mother? No fields of her emotion, no fields of her nourishment, no fields of her essence. Soul of the man is in the womb of the universe, in the unicos. So you get all of what is there. Our physicality sits within the womb of the physical mother, but our soul sits in the womb of the universe. So we carry all of that.
Nuestro físico, nuestro alma del físico es una cosa, pero nosotros venimos del alma original, que tiene historias que vienen de las almas de nuestros padres, de nuestros abuelos y tatarabuelos. Y el alma original está en contacto con el alma del universo, es decir, tu alma lleva toda esa información, que no, bueno, depende de el nivel de comprensión de uno o la conexión, que es justamente lo que el señor Keshe nos quiere enseñar próximamente, y de a poco lo está haciendo.
If you listen to all the teaching, as I've said before,
Para comprender todo esto debes escuchar todas las enseñanzas. Tú empezaste hace poco, pero lleva años enseñándonos todo esto y bueno, todo eso aquilata nuestros conocimientos.
when you have a star, when you have a planet, through the fields of them, we are connected to every other entity in the solar system and in the universe. And even the galaxy has a say in the position of the Earth in the solar system. And the same, the universe we are in has a say in that. Even the universe has a say in the creation of the Earth, because it's all connected through their magnetic fields.
Tienes que tener la comprensión de que tu alma recibe la influencia de todos los campos de energía, todos los campos magnéticos de los planetas, de los soles, de las galaxias y de todo el universo. Estamos compuestos de toda esa interacción de energías que recibimos, y eso eres tú.
Our physical dimension is controlled, is within the womb of the mother, physicality of the mother. But our soul is another sun and is connected to all in all dimensions. So when it comes to understanding this, you will understand that the soul of the man carries the essence of the creation from the Creator, because it's connected and it comes through it. Where the essence, the soul of physicality, is connected to that womb of the mother, to that physicality condition, which is confirmed itself exists, that it exists in there. And mankind has to understand this. You have no choice.
El alma del cuerpo se engendra en el útero de tu madre, pero tu alma original tiene la influencia de todo el universo. Y el creador, tus padres, tus abuelos, bisabuelos y toda influencia de todos los campos de energía que te circundan.
In a way, if you look at it, is the history, is the life history of unicorns. Even the creator who led to it, it sits within the soul of the man, within the reach of the soul of the man.
El alma es el producto de toda la historia del universo y tiene que ver con esa influencia. Tu alma original es eso. Y eso es lo que tienes que lograr, esa conexión, ese recuerdo.
John, entonces, el alma es más sabia y más vieja que nosotros. Tiene la información como un paquete de información que viene en el ARN de vida tras vida. Entiéndelo así.
Así, tu alma original tiene la historia de toda tu familia y ancestros y todo el entorno. Tu alma física no, porque se engendra en el momento de la concepción.
Es como que tenemos un traje espacial, pero el alma es la que más sabe, mucho más que los registros akáshicos que estaban preguntando el jueves, que mucha gente preguntaba por registros akáshicos, pero yo pensé que si el alma nunca muere, entonces el alma de nosotros, de cada uno de nosotros, es el que es el más sabio. Es con el que queremos conectar ahora.
Sí, es toda es una trama que no tiene fin. Y el comienzo fue el origen del universo, pero esto sigue creciendo continuamente como el universo. I have just said, souls never perish. They're a big sort of construction that comes from the beginning of the universe, from the unicos, and it continues growing bigger and bigger.
Any other question?
Ahora, la pregunta es la copa del hombre que hicimos, porque Mr. Keshe ha dicho, escuché que le dijo a alguna persona que si tiene una pareja, pues no necesita hacer la copa del hombre, pero hay gente que vive sola, y sí tiene que hacer la copa del hombre. Entonces, esa es mi pregunta. Son dos copas conectadas para crear la parte física y la parte emocional. Es una duda que yo también tengo. No sé si pudieras preguntarle. Yo ahí sí tengo la duda.
Liliana wants to know, in a couple, do each one of them make a cup of man? And when one person only makes one cup of man, is there a difference? How is this?
What is she talking about? About what?
About making the cup of man.
Yeah.
She wants to know what the difference is when there's one person that does it or there is a couple involved.
Each one make their own.
En la pareja cada uno hace su propia copa del hombre. Y logra esa alma entre las dos copas, del físico y la copa del hombre.
Gracias, John. Muy agradecida por todo esta... Eran dudas que tenía y agradezco mucho a Mr. Keshe. Y de verdad, gracias por apoyarme y gracias a todos. Gracias.
Thank you all, and thank you, Mr. Keshe, for all the knowledge you are giving us right now.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask you something, Mr. Keshe?
Yes.
One
Let me
moment.
explain something. Can I explain something? You have seen Lynn and Ella for quite some times around the Keshe Foundation. Those who are in China know her for this. And Lynn about the same around the Keshe Foundation in Bedmore. These two souls, or physicality of the soul, did not turn up just by accident. And there were, as I say, people think they come in themselves and they're there. But as many of us, there's a reason for us where we go and why we are there. These two physicalities and their soul have been promised a long, long time to be present at the time and the place. And as I said, in a coming time, they take my place. So the soul they've been gifted and has been accepted in so many ways, on its maturity, will reach the level of the soul of the Creator. And there is a reason and a process for this. And in a way, the Trinity will carry on. But in a dimension and a purpose. And in time, in coming time, very soon, you will understand why and the reason of it. There are a few pieces to come together as a jigsaw. And in that process will lead to the maturity of the mankind and the universe. And this is part of the process, which has started long, long time before, even long before the creation of the earth. In so many ways, as the stupid scientist said, there's never been a Big Bang. And in the process, as I said, creation comes to be, to look and tries to find perfection. And this process of these two souls is part of that perfection of the Creator. You soon will understand. You will see a lot of activities in the skies of this planet and the solar system. And in the teaching, even in the past few days, I refer to the starship and what you call, if you see so many, or what you call UFOs or starships, a star, whatever you call them. These little entities of few meters, maybe 50, maybe 100, coming halfway across the universe is ridiculous. They are part of the bigger structure, which man does not even have an understanding of yet. And if you see so much in the vicinity of this planet and is increasing and it will increase to ultimate limit, and we understand why, we explain, there is a reason. And the reason for it is the presence of these two souls. But it has to go through a process. We are not creating a cult, we are not creating something coming. That's your imagination. So much from all over the universe do not come here to be witness to nothing. And at the same time, in so many such a strength. And the elevation of the knowledge of the man in past 50, 100 years has been to bring man to the point for this time and place. Man knowledge could have increased 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. So in a way, it's a process which has much bigger dimension. much, much bigger dimension. And in the teaching in the past few weeks, I have referred to it in different ways, but very few of you have ever noticed. When you speak about a twin soul, you have to understand the meaning of it in the universal dimension, not in the physicality of the man. In a way, when you look at the physicality of the man as a soul and solar physicality, and we've been teaching this for quite some time. In a way, within these souls, we find the same, but in a different dimension and understanding. And the emotion will bring the emotion of what we call the creation, because of their physical connection to this planet. I chose the physicality of the man, but in essence belongs to the Creator. And if such a thing has taken place to be present at this time, there is much more to it than what the man can understand. This is why we don't create goddess and goddesses and the rest of it. As we said, we live amongst men, the same as men, and we look and live the same lifestyle. When we try to create a condition of equality, and the same has to be for all, from creator down to the created. So gradually, slowly, we have built up to this point. People who've been close to me for years, they knew of what is to come. It's not something which is just today or yesterday or last week. Those who've been close to me, they were aware of the eventuality of what is and what is to be done. It hasn't been in public domain, but we are part and a structure of a bigger change, much, much bigger. We keep ourselves busy with making ganses and enhancement units and trying to do, this is what you want me to do, to come sit here and say this, and do this, and be like the others in the past when they came as what I call servants to the Creator, and they made the world to service them. We keep to that way, we keep to structure that, as I said many times, I was brought up this way in my physical life by my parents. No one should know who you are, where you come from, which door you came out. And the same goes for our life in other dimensions. And many of your souls know who I am in the soul. But physicality, that's why we try to encourage you to understand your soul. Because once you understand your soul, you understand the operation of your soul will see us and recognize. In physicality, it's impossibility. You can't even recognize your own left hand from the right. If I was not, I would have been afraid teaching you about your soul. As I am, is my power for you to see me. So I teach you. I made man to create children that they may love me. And in that sense, when Baha'u'llah wrote this, the love was a recognition of the light of the Creator. And as we teach more and more like Universal Council members, that they will be recognized by the light, not by their physicality, what they give to serve, then if we were not shining, we would have never taught it, because it would have shown we are not nothing. But in so many ways, it's the light of the Creator. And when you reach the level of understanding and seeing the light of the soul, you will understand when you see the star. And there is a reason for the twin souls we have brought in. Soon you will understand. And it's for them to write their history, not for us to tell. And this is very, very important for knowledge seekers and the coming time for humanity to understand, and for the universe and the universe. We are here for a celebration. And those you see arriving, and you will see all sorts of different structures and lights appears gradually more and more. Yeah, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years is a flick of a second. It's your year, it's time you turn around your sun, not in our year, which is millions of years, to mankind's eyes. And we come here for a reason. We come here to celebrate. And we chose Earth because of its beauty, and where the Creator learned about loving, and how man has created through a simple process to love and to care. Loving the way mankind does is unique. And through it, the loving has touched the love, what we call the essence of the Creator. And in so many ways, this planet is beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful pieces of jewels in the crown of the Creator. Mankind has to be proud of what he has, but mankind needs to change slightly to deserve to be the deserver of this planet. Then it goes in the same way. We don't, and in reality, I can produce tons of gold sitting in one of the labs and live a king's life. And I can sell patent on everything I know, become richer than the richest man on this planet ever. From nanotechnology to power to space technology and the rest of it. But I've become detached because I know I have everything I want. And I've come here to take one thing which is left to complete. Don't need enhancement unit, don't need the ganses and the rest. Let's just keep busy till the time comes. At the same time, try to elevate the soul and physicality of man. And that time is very near. You will see world peace in my time and my space, and you will see man the opening of the universal community during my time. And now me through a celebration. When you have a party, you invite all the family and the friends and you introduce them together. And this is the purpose of what is to come. But this celebration is much bigger than mankind can understand, but the universal community is fully aware. And as I said, these two souls become part of somebody's mechanism. They become part of your life, your future life, through the action of their souls, not what they stand in the Keshe Foundation. It's just point of reference, you know where they are and who they are, and they're there. But in essence, they are here for totally different purpose through their soul. And if you read the holy books, you'll find the answer. Those books are real and not written by imagination. Any other question?
Danilo, are you able to open your microphone now? Your hand's up still. Hi, hello.
Hello.
Hi, you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. Hey, Mr. Keshe, thank you very much for the beautiful job. And
Am I
my
getting
question,
paid for the job?
sorry?
You said thank you very much for a beautiful job. I said, am I getting paid for the job? You didn't
Yeah.
get the joke, it's okay, no problem. Carry on.
So my question is about the planet Earth and how animals in this planet is like vampires and they kill each other in order to survive. And the point is the creation, this is the natural evolution of this planet, or we mess up something here, or I really don't understand why all animals kill each other as we humans.
This is totally accidental on this planet. And is due to structure of this planet. And in a way, I always say, whenever you make a mistake, it can be a good mistake. In the process of the creation, I'm trying to explain something in a simple way. Sometimes mistakes turn out to be a good mistake if you can see it as an opportunity. And sometimes accidents happen to be a good accident. And planet Earth is a combination of mistakes, accidents, and many other things which has come together and led to its creation. So part of the mistake can be corrected with a new understanding, the knowledge and help of friends. We can correct this little problems of mankind on this planet, not the mankind, the total problem on this planet. So the mistakes or what has gone wrong with this planet has led to a very beautiful planet, structurally as its features, its beauties. And as I said very recently, it's been such a bad mistake and such a beautiful planet that he has managed to bring the creator down to it as the soul of the man. So it's not all that bad. What is very interesting about this planet, and maybe only the theologians can explain, if he ever thought about to explain, and that is, take mankind, take any animal on this planet. Let's say mankind, there's a man. How can this creature fall in love and give his life for his love, and lead to creation of life because of it? But at the same time, the same man can kill. Doesn't make sense. If you're a killer, why do you fall in love? If you're a lover, why do you kill? And this doesn't make sense anywhere in the universe. Earth, planet Earth, people being here from the universe is an enigma. How can they fall in love that they give their life? And how can they take life? Can't they fall in love with the life they take? And how both can exist in one entity? How can human beings love and create and kill and destroy? This is exactly, this is where, when I saw this picture, brought a lot. How can a man do this? Who can love and kill? Shall we make the brain of the man as one piece, then it's two pieces? Or how can we elevate the soul of the man to be one or the other, to kill, that none will be left, he becomes the gate, me, and then he'll kill himself too because there's nobody to talk to. Or
Excuse me,
love.
Mr. Keshe. Did you mean to
Yes,
have something on the screen?
yes,
Our
I
screen's
want to
black,
show.
just so you
Why?
know.
Because somebody interfered with my sending. There is somebody there with the hands up, and it says, do you see it now? Do you see it now?
Yes, now it's there. Thank you very much.
Yeah. This is the same. How can a man love another man? And how can one man kill another man? And the funniest thing is, if what a man was killing and what we were told that his wife is black, I presume, if I understood correctly.
Not black. She's from Laos, I believe.
Among?
Laos.
Where is Laos?
Near Cambodia. Right.
Lagos. Oh, Laos.
Yeah.
Ah,
Laos. She was
Laos.
a refugee, actually.
Yeah. So how can a man, if you marry to the white woman or American, how could we live with another woman from a different entity and kill another one after another? Or as you see the Ayatollah kissing the hand of a black man. Where do we draw? This is one of the problems, enigmas on this planet. How can the same soul kill as the same soul gives life, physicality? Creates life through love and care. Look at the man, look at the birds, look at the animals. They all do. Even the plants have a serenade of love affair if you understand their languages. How can mankind do this? Is the one on the left is the soul of physicality, and the one on the right is the soul of the mind. What is the position we have? What do we expect to gain from all this? Any other question?
Well, we have two more hands up, Mr. Keshe.
Ricardo Cortez says, I have a question.
Hi, it's an honor for me talk to you, Mr. Keshe. My name
It's
is
my
Ricardo
honor to
Gutierrez.
talk to you. Thank you for being here.
Wow, I want to cry. Okay, my name is Ricardo Gutierrez. I have today 31 days without feeding the normal way. I am feeding by liquid plasma. The very first 10 days, I just feed liquid plasma, but Lizzie and the Spanish team, I belong to both Spanish team because I speak Spanish and I'm born in Mexico City, but I am living here in mid California, USA. So I belong to the both team. So the Spanish team told me to start just one meal at a time. So I go back and I'm feeding just the rice, just one plate of rice, the size of half of my hands. John, ayúdame. And I have several questions to you because I met you since 3 years ago when my hands start to catch the sunlight, the plasma. The plasma glue on my hands and I can get the plasma and I don't heal my, I don't want to say I heal, my hands heal. In my research for knowing what is happening to my body, I found the foundation, Keshe Foundation, and start to give me some information about this with your videos, beautiful information you have for all the humankind. And my question, the first question is for you, Mr. Keshe, why the sun, when the sun glowing to my body, why can I can just put my hands on the sun and I can catch it. But I mean, sun is not only with the sunlight. I can be on the shade, on the shadow, on the inside my home, and I can get the energy. Can you answer me this?
I don't understand. I'm trying to understand.
Okay. The energy from the sun is kind of gluing on my hands.
Yeah.
I can catch it. When I start to see the video from Foundation, Keshe Foundation, I hear somebody, I don't remember, John or Victor, say, we are reactors, and we can, by plasma, heal others just by touching. Actually, I do that. But that's one of my questions, how it's work and or why it's work that way. But let me pass to another question because I have several.
Why is what? I don't understand. Why is what?
Why is glowing the energy into my body?
What do you mean glowing?
Gluing. John, ayúdame por favor.
Sticking.
John?
Why doesn't it stick? It goes through you.
Yes, sticking, yes. It's sticking.
Doesn't stick. It just goes through you. Sun, the rays of the sun, what we can absorb, we see, but the rest of it goes through us.
Okay.
We don't hold to the ray of the sun. We just take from it what is at our strength. The rest of it is reflected or goes through us.
Okay. The other question I have, let me pass. I use it 5-meo DMT is something I use it the March 1st, and I died for 13 minutes. In that 13 minutes, I use it 5-meo DMT.
What is DMT?
May I explain for you? Allow me to explain, please.
Okay, gracias, sí.
Mr.
Okay.
Keshe, he had a near-death experience when he went and used a special drug, and that produced him a state of death for...
Oh, DMT.
DMT.
Is that it's called designer drug?
Dimethyltryptamine, I believe it's called.
Yeah, but not the artificial.
Is that the designer drug?
No, well, yeah, not the designer, but the la del sapo, Janet.
Mr. Keshe, let me explain to you. In Mexico, there is a very famous treatment that is called the medicine of the ancients, and is that there is a special frog that sweats a special chemical, which is called the venom of the frog, and it has been used by ancestrals. It's a very profound, it's like the ayahuasca in other parts of South America. In Mexico, they have this, which is a venom from a frog, and they put it, and this induces into people these trips in which they are confronted with their spirit and all the veils are taken away. So that is what he did. He went into this ceremony and had this venom, and he had an induced death for how many, ¿cuánto tiempo? How long did you were dead?
13 minutes.
13 minutes. And after that, he came back with all these gifts, like all the veils were taken off him, and he has been experiencing a lot of special phenomena that he's learning to discover, and he has a lot of questions because even though he's experiencing them, he doesn't understand the entirety of them, and that's why he's calling to you.
One of the things, Mr. Keshe, is when I fall down, when I fall to the floor, I want to explain this in my own words. I don't have any other study about anything, just Keshe Foundation. The soul is plasma. I understand now this because from my body don't look or don't feel like the movies say or TV shows. No, I expand myself, expand all until the totality, and I feel how totality is growing up, not is growing no by no está creciendo constantemente, no es como ya ni es no es no tiene un patrón continuo, sino que va poquito, mucho, no es.
He's experiencing, espérate un segundo, he's experiencing the expansion of the plasma. He says that the plasma doesn't expand with a constant pattern. It expands in different capacities. Sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small. Continúa.
And I felt the love of everybody, the love of everything, and I can't resist to them. At the beginning, I resist, but when I let it accept the love, then I involve in something bien aturdidor. Yani, es muy aturdidor. Me aturdí mucho y enseguida empecé a ver figuras, empecé a escuchar sonidos y cuando ya no pude crecer más, porque se siente cómo vas creciendo, y cuando ya llegué a ese final, me hizo solamente chiquito.
Okay, para ahí. So during his experience, he went through these different phases in which he started to expand, and once he couldn't expand anymore, he became very little, and he started to see these figures and started to hear these noises. Continúa.
Y cuando me volví solamente un punto en medio de todo,
he just became one point in the middle of nowhere.
Sentí, porque no se escuchan, se puede ver todo, se puede sentir todo, se puede escuchar todo cuando te vas expandiendo, pero cuando llegué a ese puntito, una voz o un sentimiento que me dijo, ves, eres solo pensamiento. Y abrí los ojos.
Para. He says that when he was doing this experience, he became to expand and to a point in where he couldn't go anymore. And at that point, he became a small dot in the vastness of that nothingness. And at that moment, he heard a voice that said to him, you see, you're nothing more than a thought. And that's when he woke up.
Entró solamente en mi mano derecha y en la mitad de mi cuerpo, lo que le llamo espíritu o alma. El alma de mi cuerpo solamente entró a la mitad de mi cuerpo y no podía entrar a la otra mitad cuando yo estaba despertando, pero cuando desperté solamente sentía amor por todos. No tenía odio, no tenía resentimiento, no tenía nada de pensamientos negativos, ninguno. Solamente sentía amor, amor por todos.
So when I came out of this state, I only felt that half of my soul came into my body, and he couldn't feel anymore, but he had this beautiful sense of loving. He couldn't hold any thoughts of anger or resentment towards others. The other thing he felt was love, eternal love towards everyone.
Enter only, sorry, I'm sorry. Enter only in the half of body.
Yes, enter only on the half of the body, but then with the time, 5 minutes later, all my soul was into my body, and the feeling, oh, I need to remark, when this is the only place where we have feelings. When we are out of the body, there is no feelings, just here. And I cry. When I came back, I start to cry and to cry and to cry. And at the beginning, don't understand. But after 3 days of this experience, I have it's called reactivation. And in this reactivation, I went to China, and I see a lot of bodies pile up and burning, but a lot mean thousands throwing by helicopters, but big. That's a lot, and I feel a lot of pain, and because I want.
Excuse me, I don't understand where we are going with this.
3 days after this, 3 days after this experience, in my house, well, in my job, I feel like dizzy. I sit on my, I am stylist. I sit on my chair, stylist chair, and I travel, or my soul travel to China. I know it's China right now because I start to see a lot of dead bodies, but they was peeling up.
Can I stop you there? I don't understand what you're trying to tell us.
Yanni?
Él te está preguntando que más o menos cuál es la idea de tu historia. Le gustaría entender cuál es la razón por la cual, la relevancia que tú piensas que puede tener tu historia para ser compartida dentro de la plataforma.
Okay. Now I can tell what I understand, and the question is, I thought about this because the same feeling when I did have my reactivation and when I had the experience is the one, and this is question for you, Mr. Keshe, the same feeling when I step in front of my cups. When I call this confirmation, let me know, please, let me know. I feel how something inside me from my solar plexus, de mi pecho, go
yes.
through the cup, the first cup, but it's like un embudo, help. Is going from my solar plexus to my feet and go smallest, and is a connection with the copper. I know it's the copper, but it's going to the middle of the top of my cup. Last week, my family don't believe in this and don't believe in me, but last week my wife has in surgery, and I hear you when you say how many people you want to be responsible, and I say,
can I ask you, because I don't understand where we are going with this. I don't understand why you try to, what you're trying to explain.
I want to ask you if I can call confirmation of my cup, the feeling I have when I am in front of my cups.
I don't know what you see. The thing is, we gave the cup for you to understand yourself, not for me to confirm anything. Is if you listen to the teaching, especially last week,
yes,
or last Thursday, these we introduced these not to create another gameplay. We introduced these for you to find the value in a way the truth about yourself.
in a way.
And it is so many in so many ways, as we explained this week or last Thursday, is it's a bigger reason behind it, and this is the first step for people to start to understand. And what you experience is in you and your soul, and what you explain does not mean anything to somebody else. This interaction with a cup of man, especially the dynamic and the next stages of it when we explain, is for man to know his own soul better. That's all.
Okay.
And this is the reason we introduced the cup of man, because of the next step to it. There is a bigger, much bigger step after what we introduce as the dynamic systems. We are in a process of the teaching to join the man into the universal community, and firstly to understand his own soul. So different people might experience different things. Nobody gave confirmation to nothing.
Okay.
You understand? I understand. It is how you see yourself in respect to yourself, and how you evaluate yourself in respect to what you see, what you hear, and about yourself to yourself.
About myself to myself.
When you stand in front of the cup of man, especially the dynamic one and the others which we'll introduce in the coming weeks, is for you to understand if your soul tells the truth to the soul in front of you. If your soul tells the truth about your soul of physicality. When you stand in front of my soul, you see my soul. You understand? So when you stand in front of my soul, you have to understand what is my intention. What do I think about you as a soul? You understand? So this is the step into dimension of the space travel and correctness. We are not introducing to see who correct, what I made. I put my cup up, I put my cup down. This is the problem with human physicality. And this is what we keep on saying. Step beyond, understand the interaction of the field. And from now on is you. What do you see in that cup? You see yourself. If you made it in a copy of to be, or copy of your soul and soul of physicality, understand. If you tell to the soul that I love you, and it's pink, and see what you come in your mouth and you say, I love you. But the physicality has chosen another point in respect to the love which I have for you. The soul sees it as white, the physicality sees it as gray, because there is somebody else you love next door. Physicality is aware of, not soul. Let me explain to you, because I get this a lot in the past few weeks. People keep on asking us,
what do you call it? Is my soul cup of man correct? I put it there, I stood in front of it. We are not interested at all. And we didn't give you the cup of man for you to take anything out of it. No ganses, nothing. The cup of man started with the cup of life and the cup of life too. And in that process, we taught you the cup of man.
Mm-hmm.
And we are not interested. I see a lot of people sending me pictures. Why do I have this here? You haven't understood. It's you in front of what you created. And that's, nobody should know. It's you, and you understand what I've created and what I've got in front of me. Do I like to see it as it is? In fact, if you don't like it, it's your behavior we don't like. It's your interaction you don't like, because there's nothing else. That cup does not need no living, nothing to feed it, is independent, is alive, it interacts with everything else around it. You are dependent on physicality and around you, not it. So it's a point of reference for people to understand about themselves. I stand in front of a person, I tell her I love her. It means I love her because you can see it. I adore you. It means I give my soul. My soul is in flotation. You will understand this very, very soon. And when I tell you I give you my life, it means you see the detachment of the soul from physicality.
Okay.
It means, so it is for you to understand. And I try to bring a lot of things, the soul teaching and to the Universal Council members. You will spot the Universal Council members like a star in the sky or a match, which is physicality. Very, very soon. As members of the Keshe Foundation elevate themselves to understand more, when you see a Universal Council member, you say, oh my God, what a cheat, what a liar, or what a man, or what a woman who serves exactly what he says. This is when you go into space, there is no language unless you choose a physical language of marking, because you have a hand, they have something they can understand, your handshake, or you speak, you interact through your soul. It's very simple. You don't speak any language, you go to another country, they introduce somebody to you, what do? You smile, hello, smile your face, shake your head. They say water, you say no, 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 shake your head. They know it means no, because they don't know what no is in English. But in standing in front of it, you decide, she's nice. Yes, maybe she's lying to me. The tea is giving me, it's got a poison in it. Maybe, So now we take all this out because you see the soul. You know why she's smiling. Yes, I like you. Yes, the tea is clean. There's no poison in it. And yes, you can come in. So if don't match, you see. Cup of life is for you to understand how correct you are with yourself and to start practicing when you see another soul, another dimension. People from no physicality, but they take the shape of the man to suit you to know they're here.
Now I understand.
So thank you very much. It's not just for you, but I get a lot of these things. People, oh, I mean, why is half white here? You haven't understood. And I keep on saying for months and months, we are dealing with the fields. We are dealing with the fields, not with gases and blah, 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 blah,
blah. Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. I really
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much. Thank you. Another question, the last one, I hope. It's nearly
Yes.
1 o'clock my time.
We're down to one hand. Jeanette, are you around still? Can you translate for Liliana?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Liliana, it's your turn, dear.
Liliana, haz las oraciones y paras para que yo pueda traducir.
Ok, sí, gracias, Jeanette. La pregunta que quería hacer era referente a que si los campos de las copas pudieran abrir portales para que las almas en pena, por decirlo así, no sé si Keshe crea en eso de los fantasmas o de los desencarnados, de eso, para que esas almas puedan trascender.
Okay. She wants to know if the fields of the cups open portals so that the souls that are trapped in this dimension can go out. Sir?
I'm trying to find an answer for this.
Okay,
we are not here in a portal job and I don't know who created the portal. You have to go and find what portal is, because in Keshe Foundation, our knowledge, we don't create portals.
Okay,
it is understanding the truth about your own creation and how you can communicate and how you can move and expand your love and your care and your knowledge about the creation. Portal is for fancy works.
Okay, dice que
we have no holes anywhere.
Okay, give me a second, please. Sir. Dice que está tratando de tomar un tiempo para poder entender la respuesta, porque dentro de la tecnología de plasma el concepto de portales y de huecos no existe. Entonces que dice que hay que definir esto primero que todo, porque pues realmente no existe un concepto como tal.
Lo que pasa es que en una experiencia que pasó en un hospital, donde mandé yo energía con las copas, la doctora comenta, ves que en los hospitales hay muertos y demás, y se escuchan luego a veces que por ahí andan las almas en pena. Y dice que después de que mandé energía, pues no desaparecieron esos eventos o esas entidades. Entonces por eso me surgió la duda, ¿qué pasó, no?
Okay. She says that she had an experience with the hospital in the area where she lives, where she was asked to work with the hospital in certain cases. And when she used the cups and sent energy to this place, she says that when she spoke to one of the doctors, some phenomena that was happening in the hospital stop happening, and the phenomena that was occurring was that they had these feelings that they were some sort of entities roaming in the area, which they thought that could be potentially souls that had not departed, and that after she had done that healing work, these phenomena stopped. So
I'm not in that job. I'm not in that healing. I'm not in those kind of things.
I understand, but that's what I wanted to say to you.
Yes, I don't understand these things because to us doesn't exist. The reality is very simple. A lot of people I've noticed in the past few weeks more and more come to Keshe Foundation for these kind of spiritual experiences. Now they hear they can get energy or the cup of man and the rest of it. We, in the knowledge, understanding, is a lot of people are speaking about things which, in essence, if they exist and if they are, do not come into the work and the knowledge which we have. We don't say they don't exist. We don't say use gases for them not to exist. All I say, do not mix the knowledge of space technology with these kind of things, because it literally puts us in the wrong direction of what we want to do and where we are. You have the freedom of do what you like, but please don't bring it to the teachings. I did this and did that. We stopped these things a long time ago, and I would like to be stopped. And anywhere I see it, I try to take it out of the foundation, even in the chats. Experience of using GANs to capture the black magic and using the GANs because it's energy and they disappeared, and all sorts of things. These are the strength of your imagination. You can imagine as much as you like.
Okay, allow me to convey the information.
Thank you very much.
Él dice que la tecnología del plasma no alberga la posibilidad de que este tipo de interacciones ocurran, que él personalmente no quiere decir si existe o no existe, porque no es de su incumbencia, pero igualmente no quiere que sea incluido dentro de las enseñanzas que la fundación está entregando. Que en muchas ocasiones él ve que existen este tipo de preguntas y de comentarios, y que él es el primero que quiere pararlos porque no quiere que se crea ningún tipo de asociación con lo que es el concepto de la tecnología de plasma. Entonces él pide que no se continúe trayendo a colación, ya que no es relevante, y pues por ende no quiere que se siga haciendo esto dentro de la fundación. Esto no quiere decir que él no comparta si existe o no existe, pero dice que simplemente no es pertinente, y por ende quisiera que esto no se continúe manejando dentro de las enseñanzas o de los chats o de lo que sea pertinente a la asociación. Ok, sir.
Thank you very much.
Gracias, Jeanette. Gracias, señor Keshe.
No,
Thank
a
you.
ti.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much indeed.
Your presence today here is profoundly appreciated.
I try to be in all the teachings, as I said, as much as possible, as you notice in the past few weeks, because we have a bigger plan, and we try to put mankind in a very rapid, what I call fast track. And as I said to the head of Keshe Foundation and our webmasters, to bring all these parts, like the American Corona team, like now when we come to teach, the ones on Monday and Tuesday, and like Friday night when we joined the Brazilian group, as part of the Keshe Foundation workshop teaching, that it becomes one continuous addition and not spread all over the place. Because these teachings from now on all are interconnected. Very much, very, very much so. So what we speak tonight will be brought in as like knowledge seekers 330-American Corona Team, or the other one becomes Brazilian teaching, or becomes the soul teaching, that we continuously build up to the eventuality of not only on Thursdays. I'm teaching more or less every night, or at least 4 or 5 nights, 5 or 6 nights a week. The only one we don't bring in is the Iranian teaching, because it's only for us and it's totally in different directions. And anyway, it's part of the teaching that we do. And we try to make a very rapid fast track. And when you go on the knowledge seekers workshops from now on, you will see 3:30 like this tonight, American and the rest of it. But you got to listen to all of it in a way that we build up. We are building up to unification of mankind. We're building up towards peace. And we are building up towards a massive celebration, which you will understand very, very soon. And in that process, everything needs to be done 100% correct. And we go in a very, very speedily fast track that it can, in so many ways, might not be what I call so easy for many people to catch up with. But every day, 3-4 hours of teaching will continue in a very, very rapid way. We build it up till Christmas, and we go into March. And but by 3/3/21, 3rd of March 21, we reach a celebration time, a point of change, a beginning. And in that way, the totality will be brought together. We are working in a very rapid way to elevate the soul of the man, bring in the knowledge that the man can create peace, and with that knowledge being able to see what we call universal community. And at that point, to be able to interact with universal community. Once we bring the knowledge of the man to the technological evaluation and the soul elevation, that they can understand, develop technologies very rapidly to be able to travel beyond the man's imagination in the coming time, we need to create that condition of peace and interaction and everything else to be absolutely smooth. For that reason, we tend, and you will see the teachings will intensify very rapidly. And we, as I said, Monday teachings cannot be all hubbub-baloo, and I wish this has to be teaching souls, elevating the souls. There's Tuesdays directionally towards one nation, what we plan and what we do. And Wednesdays, which goes with Rick, shows other parts. And Thursdays, again, with the teaching. And here and there, maybe Fridays, we attend some other teams or whatever. But the target now is fast track towards what we want to do, because we will bring the corona situation under international opening within next days. So we use the opportunity of doing it to create the next step for the space and peace program. And from there, we go towards what we call in developing, in a way, as I explained to someone very, very recently, is by developing the technology in the space level and the soul, it's like you getting those night binoculars out, where you can't see anything, and then when you put the night glasses on, you see everything, how much life is there you didn't know. We are giving you that opportunity. We are not bringing you night glasses for you to see the night vision. We are developing, teaching you that you make it to see what you have missed and what is there for you to appreciate. I don't want to wake up and read in the newspapers or hear in the news the Earthman has eaten somebody from space because he wanted to see how it tastes. I don't want to see the pictures, what we've seen, horrendous pictures of past few days like this, to be an interaction between the man of the earth and outside. that face, that man under his foot has to belong to the past. And I've said very recently, and I repeat, these people who do these kind of things will put them in front of their own children and their family and let them see if they like to do with the children of the others what they did to their children. Mankind has two choices. We'll give up through suffering or we'll give up by elevation. We have option on two. They choose. I choose the second one. But if we go the way they go, we go back to rule of Christ. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. One family, one family. We know both games, but try not to choose the second. Try to stay very correct. And that comes out of teaching and changing a lot of things. Try to work with the transfer of energies, field movement, that you understand yourself. You understand the position of it. You put in one dynamic system, you put, let's say CO2, and you think peace, and you see peace is white. The light of it is white. You change that CO2 to zinc, and you think peace under zinc has to be white too. You change to copper, you think zinc, that copper, that light has to be white too. We taught you everything about physical life. Now you have to understand about the energy of the soul, the interaction, non-communication, understanding of the emotion of the existence, the true existence, and not the physical. And this process is a fast track, it's the only way we know. And we have a huge celebration to come up, that the whole universe has come here to be part of. You think you see a few, we teach you, you put your plasma goggles on and you see the space is shining and crowded and they're all looking down. There's a huge event. Mankind, we can't even deliberate on it till you're ready. We're cleaning up, and we're cleaning up for good. And all the teachings will be 3, 4, or 5 hours, whatever. We try to clear some of your fears. We try to answer to some of your questions. We try to educate you that you can elevate your own souls and then be elevated to the others, which means you gain enough from us that you can pass on to elevate the others. At the moment, there's 50, 60, 100 core people we have on these teachings. You're just like what do you call it? When you go to a TV show, you're just like audiences in the presentation room. The real listeners sit on the internet and every other channel that we communicate. You literally, if you look at it in the other version of the television studio, some of you talk, you have presenters, and you have panelists who sit there and ask questions. But in fact, when this goes on the internet, when the teaching goes on YouTube and the rest, is where the public teaching starts. It's where we communicate with the rest of the world. And it's not that it's just one guy talking. The panelist said, you all come here in the same group, you understand, you test it, whatever. It goes to them to test and carry on. But the difference is that now the audience is going to change in a very drastic way. And we have worked to be in that position. It's not accidental. So get ready, be ready, and those of you who understand it, be prepared to teach those who come in, but understand you're just teachers to teach the next step and let them learn it their way, that they can teach to the others in their way and their beauty. But the change is on the way, massive. We started it 2 or 3 weeks ago. We already have created mayhem in a few nations with what we are doing. And this mayhem will lead to recognition of the Keshe Foundation as not only a scientific organization, a peacemaker organization, an alternative one nation government. That means all nations run themselves as they are, as a state, but under the aegis of one central, one understanding, and that is peace, disarmament, creation of wealth, in true essence, not financially, but by knowledge and protection and giving to everyone what they physically can be developed by the technology and the science. The change is going to be very rapid. We teach, I work nearly 24 hours a day, just 20 hours, just about escaping 2 or 3 hours, because there's no more time. I have time to rest after the march, and I resign. I stepped out because I have to get you there, and from there on, it's you, and you have the 2 heads of the Keshe Foundation and the Universal Council to carry you, and the world leaders, all world population, and the universal community to carry you with a new excitement into a new life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.